talking? A crashed Tesla Cybertruck. Look at that. Wow. You do not want to be on the receiving end of this crash. This thing is super, super strong, literally bulletproof. You're gonna lose that fight if you get into a crash with this vehicle. Ouch.
Ever since Elon Musk revealed the first Tesla Cybertruck in November of 2019, it has been the subject of never-before-seen speculation and controversy. For the majority of people, the low-poly design is the truck's most polarizing feature, with some seemingly loving it and others calling it the ugliest car since the Fiat Multipla. The urbanism community, however, had other concerns. Filled with walking and cycling advocates and people who always had a healthy bit of skepticism towards Musk, they worried that the Cybertruck might be one of the most dangerous road cars ever produced. Still, many expected the Cybertruck to be a short-lived fever dream that would never make it to the production line. The vehicle was just too bizarre, hard to mass produce, Tesla would never get the panel gaps fixed, it would end up costing too much, and ultimately it would never get NHTSA approval anyways. But, to many people's surprise, Musk actually delivered in November of 2023 at the suitably named Cybertruck delivery event. The Cybertruck is a couple of years late, a lot more expensive than originally announced, and the range is about 160 miles shorter than what customers expected when they first placed their order. But at least they did actually end up getting their truck. Evidently, the Cybertruck is very much street legal in the US. To be allowed to drive on US roads, you mainly have to meet the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards. Those are set and enforced by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which most people just call NHTSA. The standards cover various aspects, including crashworthiness, crash avoidance, and overall passenger safety. One thing the standards don't cover: the safety of pedestrians in case of an impact. Which brings us to the most common safety concerns related to Tesla's Cybertruck. Mainly, many automotive safety groups have criticized the Cybertruck for not conforming to standards for pedestrian and cyclist safety. They argue that the so-called exoskeleton of the truck, made from stainless steel sheet metal, reduces vitally important crumple zones. To quote the leader of Australia's leading crash test authority NCAP, James Goodwin, thinking about other road users there, it's got a fairly harsh front and not a whole lot of areas that would provide some give if there was a strike with a pedestrian. Moreover, the shape and height of the Cybertruck's front might increase the severity of pedestrian leg injuries. James Goodwin explains, "We do both head form and leg form impacts. The frontal rake would look like it's not very forgiving in terms of legs." Goodwin admits that Teslas are incredibly safe cars for their passengers. The Model 3 scored the perfect 5 stars in NCAP's latest rating. However, when it comes to the vulnerable road user score, one of 4 categories that are evaluated, Tesla scores pretty low, with a rating of just 74%. Here is what he had to say about that. "We've got a concern that Tesla is very interested in the occupants of the vehicle, but it can't ignore the other road users as well." I looked around NCAP's website and found what I would call a Chinese copy of Tesla's Model 3, the BYD seal. It scored slightly higher in the vulnerable road user protection category with 82%. The best rated car in this category is the BMW 4 Series, with an impressive score of 93%. The aptly named Jeep Gladiator has the worst rating out of over 900 tested cars, with a lousy score of just 49%. Unfortunately, NCAP has not rated any of the Cybertruck's main competitors, like the Ford F-150 or the Rivian R1T. The best comparison I could find was the Ford Ranger, with the same vulnerable road user score as the Tesla Model 3, 74%. It would be quite interesting to see the score of a Cybertruck in an NCAP test. Legendary YouTuber Marcus Brownlee, among others, mentions another potential safety risk. He says the front visibility over the nose of the truck is quite bad.
No blind spots other than right in front of you. You cannot see what's right in front of you.
Yeah. Oh my.
You can't see what's right in front of the nose of the truck. You just can't.
Nope, that's bad.
I cannot tell you if there's a child standing in front of the Cybertruck.
I was going to say, this is not going to help the running over kids thing.
I cannot tell what's in front of it, unless I have the camera feed open.
Outside of the so-called vulnerable road users, the stiff exoskeleton and alleged lack of energy absorption might also be bad news for Cybertruck passengers. Twitter user Ostonox put together a compilation of different trucks and crash tests. Notably with the Cybertruck hitting a different obstacle. I'm not certain anything can be gleaned from this video, and it has to be said that there is no public crash test data from Nizza just yet. In a final opinion many European automotive safety experts share, NCAP's Goodwin states that he doubts the Cybertruck would be street legal in Australia due to fundamental design issues. For export outside North America, major design changes might be necessary. Let's go beyond Australia and get into some more Europe-specific problems. With a standard EU driver's license, you can drive a vehicle with a total weight of up to 3.5 tons. The lightest version of the Cybertruck, according to US documentation, has a total legal weight of 3.6 to 9 tons. This means that you need to get a Class C driver's license to drive the Cybertruck in Europe, which usually takes at least 2.5 months to complete and costs at least €2,000. The Cybertruck is also too big for much of Europe's infrastructure. The delivery model is smaller than the one introduced back in 2019, making it smaller than the Ford F-150. Still, while the German Autobahn wouldn't be a problem, urban centers, tight parking spaces and public parking garages would limit where you could take your Cybertruck. The dimensions of the biggest version are about 5.6 meters in length and 2.4 meters in width. For comparison, the current Tesla Model 3 measures 4.27 meters in length and 1.85 meters in width, making the Cybertruck about 30% wider than the Model 3. Another problem is just lack of demand. In 2020, about 115,000 pickup trucks were sold in Europe. In the same year, 3 million pickup trucks were sold in the US, pretty much exactly 26 times more sales than in Europe. Builders and craftsmen in Europe generally prefer vehicles like the Mercedes Sprinter or the VW Transporter over pickup trucks, which are a much rarer sight than stateside. Let's get to the main regulatory issue that makes the Cybertruck's current design illegal in Europe. In an interview with Top Gear Netherlands, Tesla's Vice President of Vehicle Engineering, Lars Moravi, said the following. European regulations require a rounding of 3.2 mm on protruding parts. Unfortunately, it is impossible to make a rounding of 3.2 mm on a 1.4 mm sheet of stainless steel. Therefore, European safety regulations meant to protect other road users in case they get hit make the Cybertruck's current thin and flat sheet metal design not street legal in Europe. When orders for the Cybertruck first opened, people worldwide were able to get a reservation by depositing $100. Musk claimed that 250,000 Cybertruck reservations were made in the first 3 days of availability, many from outside North America. However, in May of 2022, Tesla stopped taking orders for the vehicle from customers outside the US, Mexico and Canada. All the way back in 2020, Musk said a smaller, street-legal Euro version of the Cybertruck was highly likely. But there have been zero updates on that Euro version ever since. In December of 2023, Tesla said it had no plans to make the Cybertruck available in any other markets outside North America, which might be the company's final decision. So while I would be curious to see just how alien a Cybertruck would look on a German Autobahn, the chance of the Cybertruck ever coming to Europe is basically zero. What I am even more curious about is just how safe or unsafe the Cybertruck will prove to be on American roads. Let's just hope it is a lot safer than many people expect. Thank you for watching, and thank you to my very first patron, the Daikyo-pin, for supporting me. For more videos just like this one, please subscribe and help me hit 8,000 subscribers.